comes up quickly, that up right there. Back past the in-gate again on this right-handed curve to fence 10 with the plank on top. Now then they continue right-handed through the middle of the arena to fence 11, which has a water tray underneath. Finally, a left-handed turn down to the triple combination at 12. Annie Boland with the Hurricane just clipping the back rail of the water jump. She had a very bold shot there, just couldn't quite make the distance over the back rail. So it's 4 for Team Ireland. So the next team on our start list are the Czech Republic, but they're one of the teams with 3 riders. So now we go to the first rider for Spain. So if they've got 3 riders, they will wait until the sort of second riders to start their campaigns here. Next rider up will be for Spain. Just waiting for that next rider to come forward. The children's category have 1 leg left after this leg in Hagen. That will be in Deelsdorf, Zurich in August, before they then head to the finals in Kronenberg in September. Italy are actually leading the way in this overall season standings for the children's category. Germany are in 2nd place, Belgium in 3rd, Poland in 4th, Switzerland in 5th. So Germany are the highest placed team in our field here today. They're the team in 2nd. So we've had 3 competitors start. We're just waiting for the competitor for Team Spain. Of course, if you'd like to watch any of the previous legs of this series back, you can do so in the Clip My Horse archive. All previous legs are available to rewatch there. And don't forget, if you'd like to watch the next leg of this competition as well, that's taking place in the middle of August in Switzerland. That's the final leg for the children's category. 8 legs there. Here we go then. Next rider into the ring is going to be Oliver Glenn Lange Freil, who rides Flying Pleasure. This, as I say, is the first rider out for the Spanish team. In fact, this does not look very much like Oliver Glenn Lange Freil, so I will just confirm that for you as soon as we have a little more information. This looks very much like the French competitor, Romain Blanc, yes, with Zig Zag Z. So perhaps the hold up there was just that Oliver is going a little out of order, because Spain are one of the teams with 4 riders, as are France. So it's now the turn of Romain Blanc with Zig Zag Z, an 11-year-old mare by Zandor Z with Carthago breeding on the dam side. Again, a relatively new partnership, one that a horse that Romain's been campaigning internationally just this year, but they've had 3 top 10 placings out of their 6 starts. Most recently a 9th in Fontainebleau with a double clear in a competition there. This is not going to be a double clear, but a fence down so far for the French competitor. Well, Romain Blanc safely through the triple combination there at the end, but the plank coming away from the in-gate just dropping. So it's 2 fences down with Zig Zag Z. That's the starting score for Team France. 2 fences down. So 4 riders have started in this competition. We've had 1 clear so far. That was the Swedish rider Yuni Ratkovic. On we go now to Austria, to Anna Platz. Anna rides Z7 Cordanos V. Again, a fairly new partnership. This is just their 4th international start together, but they were on the Nations Cup team in Lamprechtshausen, a pole down in both rounds there. This horse was previously ridden by Georgia Tame of Great Britain. Before that, Michael Pender and Shane Breen, of course. Shane Breen with the Z7 horses. Anna Platz then. The horses by Katoki out of Lord Darnos mare. 1 fence down so far. They're taking fairly tight lines into this triple combination. They do need a bit of an eye on the time. Time allowed is 86 seconds though, so it's certainly not a problem for Anna Platz. She's well within the time allowed. Just the 1 fence down, so it's 4 for Austria for now. Well, this dapple grey gelding is just an 8-year-old and is ridden by Trojas Rimkevicius of Lithuania. The horse's name is Calimero W. And if you've been keeping up to date with this Nations Cup series, you will have seen this combination on a couple of the Nations Cup teams. They rode in Lamprechtshausen. But most recently they were 2nd in the Children's Grand Prix in Copenhagen, also 3rd there in another class, a 120 class. Gets quite deep to some of these fences, but this seems to be working fairly well for this horse. Well, very nicely through the triple there at the end for Trojas Rimkevicius, but just an earlier pull down, so it's 4. We still only have the 1 clear round. We have 3 4 faulting rounds, an 8 faulting round, and a 12. That was from our Dutch rider Rensky van Middendorp. Well, our next starter is in the ring. We go on to Lennard Tillmann for Germany. Lennard's ride is Aureal des Étangs Z. That is who is on our list. And I'm just going to confirm that for you because the German rider's horse is listed as Bay, so I think we may have a little rider coming out of order here. Well, the cheers go up for Lennard Tillmann and Aureal des Étangs Z. It's a really nice clear to kick things off for the German team. They stay level with Sweden on a very good clear. Lennard Tillmann really doing everything he could, expertly piloting this horse around this course. So the home team Germany kick things off with a good clear. Now we move on to our Spanish competitor, to Oliver Glenn Lange Freil. He is the first rider for Spain riding Flying Pleasure. Oliver's taken over the ride from Carlos Lange Freil at the end of last year. Spain are 12th in the overall season standings. This is only their 3rd appearance in the Children's Nations Cup Series this year. They also competed in Zuidwald for an 8th place and were equal 5th at Centaur Park. Well, it can be difficult coming away from the in-gate. Flying Pleasure certainly wanted to be heading home. Oliver Glenn Lange Freil doing very well not to turn a circle there, but it did waste them quite a bit of time. Well, Stopping the clock in a time of 94.38, it gives 19 to the Spanish competitor. That's the first score for them. We're on to the second riders for these teams now then. For the Netherlands, Emma Helliges brings forward Sambuca. Sambuca is really interestingly bred. He's by Sandro Boy. Bit tricky over the double combination. And she's turned a circle just to get the balance back before fence 5. So that is going to incur 4 penalties as well. Probably quite a smart move because it was tricky through the double at 4. Quite sticky here at 7 as well though. She just needs a little bit more forward movement and a bit more oomph here. They're just losing the impulsion. Was previously ridden by another couple of Dutch riders, Emma Bokken and Tristan Marshall. 95.15, so that's quite costly on the clock as well. So it's 20 for Emma Helliges. 20 penalties for them. So as you can see, with the 12 for the Netherlands, even if their third and fourth riders jump clear, they'll be on at least 12. So rather costly performance from their first 2 riders. On we go then to Sweden, to Carl Hugo Westergren. He rides Call Girl 5. Again, I'm sure this is a name that you'll be familiar with if you've been keeping up to date with this Children's Nations Cup competition. Carl Hugo was on the winning Nations Cup team for Sweden at Lamprechtshausen with a really nice double clear. Also just dropped 1 pole across the 2 rounds at the Centaur Park leg. He competes this horse right the way up to 4-star level. Sweden have 1 clear. Now just the 1 fence down so far from Carl Hugo Westergren. But because they have a drop score, arguably they could still finish on a clean sheet if their third and fourth riders jump clear. It's fast as well. 75.27. It's 4 for the second rider out for Sweden, for Carl Hugo Westergren. So as you can see from your graphic there, Sweden's still showing a score of 0 because the 4 could well be a drop score, but that's quite a big ask for the third and fourth riders. We'll have to see how they all get on with that. Alana Fagan is the next rider up with Bella M. She's the second rider for Team Ireland. And she rides this 9-year-old mare by Louis Dam, owned by Suzanne Macken. Alana was on the 4th placed Irish team at the Children's European Championships last year. That was with Ballycarrick Lass. Bella M is a horse that she's taken over the reins from Emily Turkington on. She had 12 in the first round in her Nations Cup appearance this year at Centaur Park, but then jumped clear in the second round. Ireland have the 4 faulting rounds so far. Now a lovely clear from Alana Fagan keeps Ireland with the potential to be on a clean sheet. They're neck and neck with Sweden. Coming forward then, the first rider for the Czech Republic is Albert Pizzarik. He's been jumping in a number of top-level children's competitions. He also jumped on the Nations Cup team at Lamprecht-Hausen, just 1 fence down, but 1 round jumped. That was with the horse Enjoy MH. Here he rides Verdi S, who is, as the name might suggest, by Verdi. Well, with only 3 riders on their team, that is most certainly a counting score for the Czech Republic. It's 12 for Albert Pizzarik. They're level with the Netherlands at the moment. Back now to Spain. We haven't had too much of a break since the last Spanish rider, but their first rider went out of order. Up next is Itana Regional, who rides Kalama. No Nations Cup appearances yet for this pair, or indeed for this rider. But they were 3rd in a speed class in Zuidwald in June. Plenty of promising performances on their CV so far. Well, 2 down for Itana Regional. They really could do with dropping that score of 19 from Oliver Glenn at Langafrau. So Spain will be counting at least 8 in this competition. That's the total from their second rider. The only teams who could potentially finish on a clean sheet so far from the 2 riders they brought forward are Sweden and Ireland. But no doubt this next competitor will be trying her utmost to get her team in a strong position. This is Emma Legget. She rides Blue Love du Candy. It's by Open Up Semi. It's an 11-year-old stallion. Again, no Nations Cup appearances for this combination yet. But they've had 3 clear rounds for jumping in their last 3 competitions. They were just unlucky to pick up 1 time penalty in their most recent. That was a Grand Prix in Fontainebleau in May. France on a score of 8 from their first rider. But a little over the time allowed. Interestingly, this pair were just a bit over the time allowed in their last competition as well. So it's 2 for Emma Legget. An 8 and a 2 means that France will count at least 2. They cannot finish now on a clean sheet, but it's clear for jumping and 2 for time. Back to Austria then, and to Lisa Gallatic. She rides Brittany. This is a 9-year-old mare by Balu du Rouet. Austria have won 4 faulting round so far. But Lisa's been jumping really well with this horse. She's only been riding it internationally since March, and already she's had 2 second places and 2 first places with this horse. It was previously ridden by Ellen Ott of Switzerland. Ellen Ott, of course, 3-time European Championship rider. Deep shot to the plank, and it rattles on the cups, but stays in place. Oh, huge shot at that water tray fence with the front rail goes. I mean, they do need quite a bold shot there, but that was really very, very bold indeed. Good to the last, though. 78.68 is the time, but crucially, it's a 4 for Lisa Gallatic. Now, as you can see from your graphic there, Jana Worm, the third rider for Austria, is not going to come forward, and so Austria will be on at least 8. Well, on we go now again to Lithuania. This is Laura Berget. Her ride here is Need for Speed. There is no particular need for speed, other than keeping within the time allowed in this competition. This is their second appearance on a Nations Cup team. They were on the team at Lamprechtshausen. Unfortunately, they were eliminated there, but they've jumped 5 clear rounds in their international career together. Need for Speed as a 13-year-old. Nicely through the last just 2 fences down then. At the moment that could be the drop score for Lithuania, but it really does depend on their 3rd and 4th riders. Lithuania though will be on at least 4 after this competition. We will of course be bringing you this first round. Now we will shortly be moving on to the 3rd and 4th riders, so we're heading towards around about halfway. And the second round will take place after the individual competition. So second round kicks off at 1:50 local time, 12:50 if you're watching in the UK. Antonia Hustler is in the ring now though, with Dynamite N. This is a new horse for her for the Nations Cup competitions. She's been riding Clarissa NRW in those competitions. Dynamite N though here today. She did, however, ride this horse at the Centaur Park Nations Cup, but Clarissa in the in 2 other legs. So, real stalwart of the German Nations Cup team in the children's categories. At one time, this horse was previously ridden by Connor Swale of Ireland. Connor, of course, 5th in the world at the moment. Comes to the last then. Really nicely done. Germany really laying it down for the rest of the riders. A double clear for them. And they have 2 experienced competitors yet to come. 2 clears for Germany. Only Sweden and Ireland could potentially also finish on a clean sheet. But again, it's quite an ask. We do have a good way yet to go. So, as I say, we're around about halfway through now this first round of competition. 18 riders have come forward. We'll be bringing you the 3rd and 4th riders next. The 3rd rider for the Dutch team is Faye Louise Voss, who rides Monica LH, another horse by Verdi. Again, this is this pair's 3rd Nations Cup appearance of this season. They jumped 1 clear round in both of those previous performances, a clear in an 8 in Lamprechtshausen and a 4 and a clear at Centaur Park. 1 down here so far. Ooh, now 2. Got a bit close to the double there. The Netherlands have their 12 and their 20, so if they discount the score of 20, their team total for the first round is still 20. 2 down for Faye Louise Voss, so there you have it. There's a 20 in total so far for the Dutch team. It's going to have them quite a way down the leaderboard. Well, on course now, we have Nora Anderson. She's the 3rd rider for the Swedish team. Nilia Vidi Bishop is her ride here. They had fence down in both rounds at the Centaur Park Nations Cup. Leg for a team 5th place. Oh, really nice down that last line. This is a fast time as well, 74.53. It's the fastest time yet for Sweden. And another clear keeps them in very, very strong contention indeed. They're on, in theory, a 0 score. Even if their final rider was eliminated, they'd be on a maximum of 4. And that's very strong in the context of our other teams' performances. Conrad Sweeney is next up for Ireland with Ardra Kordub. Again, not the most experienced competitor internationally, but they've been getting the miles in Ireland. Their most recent international start was a double clear in a 2-star in Mullingar in Ireland. Ireland on a 4 and a clear, so fence down now. They'll be on at least 4 then. This looks like a very exciting pair for the future. Conrad Sweeney with Ardra Kordub coming home with just the 4 penalties. So a 4, a clear, and now another 4 for Ireland. Back to the Czech Republic then, to Christina Gutova. Christina rides Flavio 57. Czech Republic have that score of 12 already. But remember, they only have 3 riders, so this is certainly a counting score. And at 8 so far, so the Czech Republic are on to 20. She's keeping a good rhythm up around this course. And it's a course that really rewards that. Needs to be a little careful on the time. Ooh, yeah, and the last fence as well. So 3 down and 1 to add for time. For Christina Gutova gives the Czech Republic 25. Riding URD Peleben is Lucas Lopez Benito. This is a horse by Toulon. Well-bred horse. They had a clear and an 8 vaulting round in the Centaur Park Nations Cup leg. But they're quite an established combination now. Been riding internationally together since 2021. The horse was previously ridden by Julia Segalo of France as well. She campaigned this horse internationally from 2016. Spain on a 19 score and an 8 score. So, ooh, yeah, studies well for the plank. You can see a bit of a difference here with, you know, Christina Gutova had a good rhythm consistently around this course. This is a little more stop and start, but no matter, just the 1 fence down for Lucas Lopez Benito. Means that Spain will be on at least 12 if they drop the score of 19. Back now to France, to the team with an 8 and a 2 faulting score. This is Timothy Goffinay. Timothy rides Volubi du Givre. He was on the 4th place children's team at the Europeans last year. That was with the horse Valserine Dubois. Volubi du Givre, though, was his ride at the Fontainebleau Nations Cup. They sadly withdrew there, but they jumped a clear at Centaur Park in the Nations Cup. This triple combination is jumping quite well, actually, considering it's at the end of the course as well. It's one down for Timothy Goffinay. So if France are able to drop the 8, their minimum score here will be 6. Team Lithuania are up next. If you remember, the third rider for Austria has withdrawn. So we go on to Augusta Balzaita, who rides this 9-year-old mare called Karma. They were third in the Grand Prix at Copenhagen just a couple of weeks ago with a good double clear. Lithuania on a 4 and an 8, so oh dear, so with 16 so far for Augusta Balzaita, Lithuania are going to be on 12. Well, this is quite a costly round, unfortunately, for the Lithuanian competitor. For Augusta Balzaita, it's 28. Lithuania will certainly count the 4 and the 8. They're on a total of 12. Well, we have just one more of the third riders of the teams to come. That will be Ava Ferch for Germany. Quintessa Locks is her ride, and this is certainly a horse that has been a really key campaigner for her. At Gorla Minore, this pair had a 1 rail down and then a clear in the Nations Cup. At Lamprecht-Hausen, she rode Chasse 18. But this horse was previously ridden by Tom Wackman of Ireland and by Dina Bak Sigmundsson of Denmark. They won the Children's Grand Prix at Gorla Minore. Good double clear there. Germany have 2 clears, so if Ava Ferch can jump clear here, and we know that this combination are more than capable of the clear rounds, then Germany's 4th rider would not need to come forward. Just the triple combination left. Ava Ferch is looking to keep her team on a clean sheet. Oh, stylishly done. That's a really, really good round. And it's clear for Germany. Nothing to add for them from this first round of competition. And as you can see, we've had some pretty high faulting scores so far. So 3 clears for the German team just cements how strong they are. Well, we now turn to the final riders for the team. Back to the Netherlands. This is Jesse Berkes with Aragon Hapira. It is by Boland. This partnership has been jumping internationally together since November of last year. They do the children's competitions and some one-stars. The Netherlands, remember, have that score of 20, so this now has them on 24 in total with their other scores, but you will wait until the final round. The final jump has been jumped in this round just to bring you that score. 9 teams here coming forward, and 8 will go forward to the second round, the top 8. It is looking quite difficult for the Netherlands, the Czech Republic and Spain as it stands. Well, it's quite quick on the clock. Yes, Berget. So just the one fence down, so there you have it. The Netherlands dropped a score of 20. They count the 12, the 8 and the 4. And go forward now with 24 penalties from this first round. Natalie Wenehorn is up next for Sweden with Kenneth du Petit-Vivier. She's had a couple of international wins with this horse, in a one-star at Aliva and on a children's team at FEI in Finland. That was in July of last year for the team. Also on the winning team at Lamprechtshausen in the Nations Cup competition. She jumped a double clear with this very horse. Sweden have 2 clears and a 4, so a clear here would keep them at the top of the leaderboard alongside Germany. Sweden are 6th in the overall season standings. And a really good clear for Natalie Wenehorn and Kenneth du Petit-Vivier. Well, Sweden secure the 3rd clear round. They finish this first round of competition on a clean sheet. Great performance. Sweden and Germany now the teams on a clean sheet. Nobody else can catch them up there. Ireland could slot 1 fence behind though and really put the pressure on. So back to that Irish team, to Jamie Clark and Cumro Special. This pair also jumped a double clear at the Fontainebleau leg on the 6th placed team. Jumped a double clear in their most recent competition as well, a 2-star 2-phase in Ireland. Ireland, as a team here, have 2 4-faulting rounds and a clear. So a clear would keep them on 4 penalties in total. Now a more measured approach to that Liverpool seems to be the better option. Jamie Clark aiming to keep Ireland just 1 fence behind the leaders. Yeah, manages it really well. Great clear It is just 4 to add for the Irish team in this first round of competition. Just the 4 penalties. The third rider for the Czech Republic then is in now. Of course, they have had 2 riders go, and now this is their final rider. It's Clara Lavacova with skip 59. This is her 3rd Nations Cup appearance with this horse of the season. She was on the Nations Cup team in Lamprechtshausen. Also jumped in the Nations Cup final on the children's team last year in Kronenberg. Czech Republic are on 25 as it stands, so now with a fence down, they're going to drop behind the Netherlands. And so I think they may struggle to make it into the second round here. Nicely down the last line, and just the 1 fence down for Clara Lavacova of the Czech Republic. She's the final of their 3 riders. Oh, 2 down, excuse me. 8 is the total. So that gives them a team score of 33. As you can see, into 9th place. So I think that's going to be very difficult indeed for them to make it through to the second round. Netherlands are on 24. Uxue Aruza Rodriguez is in next with Clarin de Lamosas. Uxue's previous ride in the Nations Cup this year was Quatila de Glos. But this pair have had 3 international starts so far and 3 podium finishes. A win at Oliva in a 2 phase, a 3rd in the Children's Grand Prix at Oliva, and a 2nd in another competition, a speed class at Oliva. Very talented pair. Spain have the 19, the 8 and the 4, so if they can have another clear, they've already jumped 3 out of 4 clear rounds internationally together. Oof, big jumping horse. Then Spain would finish on 12. Yeah, really nicely done. This is a super talented partnership. Really exciting ones for the future. As we keep saying, you know, it's such a unique opportunity when you are watching these Youth Nations Cup competitions to see potential rider stars of the future. We also see equine stars of the future in these competitions though as well. And that pair are certainly going to be ones to watch. Very talented horse, a lot of clear rounds with the previous rider as well. On to France then now. Their final rider is Lucas de la Chaussée. France have the 8, the 2 and the 4, and this rider with Acha de Coteau is going to try to keep them on a score of 6. This pair have actually had 8 international wins together since November of last year. Very, very successful indeed. 8 wins, 2 second places and 2 third places. What an amazing set of results. They were also on the Nations Cup team in Fontainebleau and jumped 3 clear rounds, a double clear and then a clear in the jump off there. France looking to stay on 6. They'd be 2 penalties behind Ireland then. Oh, it's quick as well, 72.44. It's by far the fastest time for the French team, and it's a clear. Great performance to come at the end of things for the team. So they'll drop Romain Blanc's 8. They'll count the 2, the 4 and the clear, and France go through to the second round with 6 penalties. Rounding things out for Austria then is Julia Huntker. Julia rides Cleon's Absinthe 2. Double clear in Lamprechthausen for a 3rd place for the team. Also rode at the European Championships in the children's category. That was with the horse Zazu though. Austria have 2 4-faulting rounds, and their 3rd rider, Jana Wurm, did not come forward. So they're on 8. Julia Huntker looking to keep them on 8. It would be just 2 penalties behind France, less than a fence. Just the last then. And just the 1 fence down. So it's 4 for Julia Huntker. I wouldn't look at the graphic in the top left of your screen because, of course, they're not going to count the no-show. So actually it's 12 for the Austrian team. That's their team total. 3 4-faulting rounds for them. Well, just Lithuania and 1 for Germany. Eva Navigate and Looping 72 are next up. This pair were on the Lamprechthausen Nations Cup team. But Looping 72 is the key horse for Eva, previously ridden by Monika Valuntaita of Lithuania as well. Lithuania could do with dropping the score of 28. That means they're on 12 so far. So most likely whatever Eva does here will be counted unless she has a score higher than 28. Ireland's 4 penalties is still looking strong in the context of the 2 teams on a clean sheet and in the context of the 6 and the 2 12s. Could this be a third team to finish on 12? Ooh. Oh, she's jumped clear but was over the time allowed, so it's 4 for Lithuania. There's their team tally. 28's the drop score. They count 2 4s and an 8, so it's 16 for Lithuania. Puts them behind Spain but keeps them ahead of the Netherlands and ahead of the Czech Republic. Well, the arena team are making their way in just to prepare things for the individual competition. That's going to be taking place in just under 10 minutes' time, so we see there on your screen the final score for Austria is indeed 12. Germany also don't bring forward their final rider. They don't have any need to. Germany and Sweden lead the way after this first round with a 0 score. Ireland are just behind them on 4. France then follow on 6. Austria and Spain are on 12 penalties each. Lithuania on 16. The Netherlands are on 24. And the Czech Republic are on 33. So with that in mind, the team not going through to the second round of competition will be the Czech Republic. We'll bring you the top 8, the 8 teams going through to the second round very shortly. That competition kicks off at 1:50 local time. That's 12:50 if you're watching in the UK, so just a little more than an hour's time to the second round of this Children's Nations Cup competition. Stay with us through this individual competition and then do join us again for the second round of this Children's Nations Cup. See you in just over an hour.
gute Runde, schade um den einen an der Dreier. Sonst gut. Bisschen der Rhythmus wäre schöner gewesen. Ne? Gut geritten.
Had jij Jannik of niet? Alleen maar ik heb wel zeggen jij erheen kwam. Ben je daar? Oké, laat hem even stel. Oh, dat weet ik niet. Ik heb gezegd dat jij hem helpt. Ik heb gezegd dat jij hem helpt, dus laten we wel een geen fout maken met die motor. Laten we stellen, een beetje zonder voet, niks trouwens. Oké, super. Belt je even bij hem, hè? Zit die voor u? Oké. dubbele voet recht houdt, de boxers. Naar links, zoals alle afwaarden. En zij heeft een kapje om, dus kijken of je niet de hoogte kan inderdaad. Ja. Eén sluit nodig, hè? Weet dat? Ja? Hou jij even flauw. Oké, houd je een keer naar voren. Zeg maar B, klaar.
zeitnah. Ich weiß nur nicht so richtig. Einwand.
Conny, super. Gut gemacht, ne?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to this Children's Nations Cup competition. 9 teams came forward in the first round of competition, and we now have 8 teams forward for this second round. The top 8 teams, of course, progress through in these competitions to the second round. This is the penultimate leg of the Children's Nations Cup competition. Just one more leg will take place for this category. In the FEI Youth Nations Cup Series, that will take place in Switzerland towards the end of August. Well, as it stands, as I say, we have these 8 teams coming forward. The team not making it through to this round are the Czech Republic, so they are the team that you can scratch off your lists. That team who are in 8th place, though, and kicking things off for us in the second round are the Netherlands. Their first rider is Rensky van Middendorp, who rides Dos Lunas Galaxy. Rensky picked up 12 penalties in the first round with this grey 11-year-old mare. And so the Netherlands sit on a total of 24 from that first round of competition. They're a little way down the leaderboard. We do have 2 teams on a clean sheet. Those 2 teams are Sweden and Germany. We also have Ireland on 4, France on 6, and then 2 teams on 12, Austria and Spain. Lithuania on 16. And so with that in mind, you can see that the Netherlands are somewhat down the order. Rensky van Middendorp then comes to the end of this fairly long course. Just comes now down to the heads over the final fence and picks up 5 penalties. A fence down and 1 for time for Rensky van Middendorp. That's how we kick things off then in this competition. Trojas Rimkevicius is in next. Another grey, this time a gelding, and an 8-year-old. We have a good few fairly young horses in the field. This is Calimero. There you have the total for the Netherlands then. The 24 from the first round and the 5 from Rensky van Middendorp. Trojas Rimkevicius then. First rider out for Lithuania. He's been riding this horse, Calimero W, since the start of this year, but they have had 2 double clears very recently in Copenhagen for a second place in the Children's Grand Prix there, so they're pretty on form. Just had the 1 fence down in the first round. Really nicely through this course for Trojas Rimkevicius. Nicely down that final line, but 2 fences down for the Lithuanian rider. Lithuania, remember, are on 16 from the first round. Now Trojas Rimkevicius has 2 down to kick things off for the team. gives him 8. So if Lithuania were to count that score, they'd be on 24. But we have a way to go yet. That could well be the drop score. Remember, they drop 1 score so that they just have 3 to count. On now to Spain then, to Oliver Glenn Langer Freil, who rides for pleasure. This pair picked up 19 penalties in the first round. So that was the drop score for the Spanish team. They're on 12 from the first round. There in the corner of your screen, that 19 is Oliver's total from the first round. Flying Pleasure is the horse here. It's by Forsyth FRH out of a Sylvester mare. And this horse is 17 now. Well, what a great result. It's lovely to see such an improvement from the first round to the second. 19 penalties now becomes a clear. Nothing to add for Oliver Glenn Langer Freil of Spain. Keeps his team on a total of 12. We do have 2 teams on equal penalties from the first round. Alongside Spain is Austria. Bringing forward this former ride of Shane Breen, it's Z7 Cordanos V, ridden here by Anna Platz. She had 1 fence down in the first round, and 1 rider for the Austrian team withdrew in the first round. And in fact, once again, we only have 3 Austrian riders coming forward. Julia Huntker, Lisa Gallatic, and now here Anna Platz. This is not quite going as she wants. 2 refusals. And so, unfortunately, all of a sudden, an elimination for Anna Platz and a withdrawal for Jana Worm, possibly something amiss there, means that Austria as a team will be eliminated. They cannot continue with this competition. They must have 3 scores counting for each round, and with 2 refusals, unfortunately, Anna Platz is eliminated. On then to France. France are on a score of 6, so they are not far away from Ireland on 4. Less than a fence separates them from that, and they're only 6 penalties behind our leaders. Romain Blanc brings Zig Zag Z forward here. They've competed in Fontainebleau and in Centaur Park so far this year. Not in Nations Cup competitions, but in a good few impressive classes. So their most recent result was a double clear for a 9th place. They had 2 down in the first round. That was the drop score for the French team. Coming down to the last then, Romain Blanc gets the French team off to a very, very strong start. Nothing to add in the second round. The 8 there was the score from the first round. So it's clear, and nothing so far to add for France. Great start for that team. Annie Boland is next up for Team Ireland. Ireland finished the first round on a score of 4. They had 2 4 faulting rounds and 2 clears. It was a strong performance from the Irish contingent. She brings forward the Hurricane. She has been riding this horse since the start of this year. She was on the Nations Cup team at Centaur Park for a clear and a 4. Horse was previously ridden by Abigail Boland, Eva Boland, by Jonathan Andrew a few years ago as well. So 1 down in the second round as well now for Annie Boland. She just had 4 in the first round. Ooh, first part of the triple comes down as well. 77.94 is the time on the clock, but 2 down in this second round of competition gives Ireland a score of 8 to consider. It could well be the drop score though, but of course it depends what the other team riders do. Yuni Ratkovic then is up next for Sweden. She gave us our first clear in the first round. Sweden had that brilliant performance with 3 clear rounds, as did Germany. So 3 clears have Sweden on a clean sheet. Yuni Ratkovic rides Inelo van den Bosrand. We're seeing some problems here though. So unfortunately a refusal. Could be quite expensive in terms of time as well. We're in a relatively early part of the course. This combination have jumped a lot of international clears, so that's unusual for them. Just this last line left. So it's 4 so far. Yuni Ratkovic is doing well to keep it not too far away from the time allowed, but 1 outside the time allowed. So really had a foot to the floor there to ensure there was not too much to add for time. It's 5 for the Swedish rider. So Sweden still on their clean sheet. It's still possible for them to finish with nothing because, of course, they can drop a score. Now it's the turn of Lennard Tillmann, representing our last team on the list, the home nation of Germany. He rides Oriel des Etins Z. Germany, as I say, on a clean sheet. They are a little faster than Sweden. But in the event that we have teams on equal penalties, we will have a jump off. And we'll count the best 3 scores in that jump off as well. Lennard Tillmann was one of the clears in the first round. Could possibly give us our first double clear. Just takes a steady approach there down the back of the arena. It's a course that does quite reward forward riding within reason. Just the last fence then. Oh, nicely done. Big cheers go up from the crowd. It's a popular result in their home nation. Lennard Tillmann then gives us our first double clear, a crucial double clear for Team Germany. Well, we go back now to the Netherlands, to Emma Helliges. Emma rides Sambuca, who is this chestnut gelding by Sandro Boy. Now, at this point, we start to see the minimum counting scores for the teams. So, if they have a clear and a faulting round, they could still add nothing. But if they basically whatever the lowest score is from the first 2 riders is likely to be counted. So we can see what they will at least add. Rensky van Middendorp picked up those 5 penalties. But in the first round, Emma Helliges picked up 20. That, however, was the drop score for the team. Well, 76.05, the time was very, very good as well. And again, what a great turnaround. So 20 in the first round, now a clear. So in theory, the Netherlands could still finish on 24. They could drop the 5. Long way to go yet, and they still have 2 riders left to come. Laura Berget then, with Need for Speed, is next in. She's jumped 5 international clear rounds with this horse. And 2 4 faulting rounds. She dropped 2 poles in the first round as well. So Lithuania on 16 from the first round. They have an 8 from their first rider in this second round. Yeah, I saw a little bit of a long one there down that distance to the upright. You do have to be careful there. Laura really using her body here to try to get the balance back, to try to get some control. These horses need to be as adaptable as possible. Now she's had 2 down. So with 2 fences down for Laura Berget and for her teammate Trojas Rimkevicius, That means that Lithuania will count at least 8 in this second round. Their team total can be no lower than 24. Has them level with the Netherlands at the moment. Well, we're just waiting for our next competitor. Next on our list should be Team Spain. That would be Itana Regional. Yes, and that is who is coming forward now with Glamour, this bay mare. This pair had 2 down in the first round. But they were 3rd in a speed class in Zuidwald at the start of this month. They were also 6th in a children's Grand Prix at Aleva in April, so as well as 2nd in a speed class at that same show. So some really good results recently. It's a relatively new partnership. It's they've been riding together since April of this year internationally. Spain have that clear from their first rider, Oliver Glenn Langer-Freil. Spain on 12 from the first round, and interestingly, if the teams have good performances in the second round, you know, even if they have a good few penalties in the first round, a few clears, well, not adding too much in the second round can certainly make all the difference, and they can really climb the ranks. It's 2 down though for Itana Regional. 2 down gives her 8. Could be the drop score, so Spain could, in theory, still stay on 12. Well, the Austrian team, of course, are the team who also came through from the first round on 12. However, sadly as a team, they are eliminated, since they have one rider who has withdrawn, and now an elimination they cannot complete with 3 scores. Julia Huntker there, you are just seeing, has withdrawn. The Austrian team will not complete. Emma Legget goes next. Emma rides Blue Love to Candy. A horse with whom she has jumped a few clears internationally in their career. Most recently they just had 1 time penalty. And interestingly here, she picked up 2 for time, so again could do with a bit of an eye on the clock. Oof. Ooh. Oh dear. That is a real shame. She was pretty much jumped out of the saddle there. They just weren't quite in sync. Oh, what a shame. Emma Legget parts company with Blue Love Do Candy and sadly is eliminated. France then have to have their 3rd and 4th riders' scores count. Those are good jumping horses and riders though. May not all be over for the French team. They're still on 6. The arena team will just be making sure that Emma Legget is safely up on her feet before we progress with the next rider. Well, we do have another combination in the arena. And so Emma Legget is safely on her feet and on her way back to the stables. On to Ireland then. Ireland are a total of 4, and Alana Fagan is next in. She rode on the children's team at the Europeans last year with Ballycarrick Lass, but this horse in today's competition is called Bella M. It's a 9-year-old chestnut mare by Louis Dam. She jumped clear in the first round now, just two early poles now. Just because it's the same course in the first round and the second round does not mean to say that they will jump it in the same way, not by any means. In fact, double clears are very hard to come by in these competitions. We have just one on our sheet so far, that's for Germany. Nicely through the triple combination, and the time is good as well, 79.61, but it's 2 down for Ireland, for Alana Fagan, and that does change things for the Irish team quite considerably. So even if they drop one of the scores of 8 and have 2 more clears, they'll finish on 12. 12 would have them level with Spain, so we could see a bit of a battle between Spain and Ireland here. But let's see, back to Sweden then, to Carl Hugo Westergren. This is one of the teams who are in contention for a potential winning spot. He had 1 fence down in the first round, the only Swedish rider to drop a pole in the first round. Sweden have won 5 vaulting round. Germany still have a clean sheet from the first round and a clear round now in the second round. So Carl Hugo Westergren could do with a clear here to keep his team in contention alongside Germany. He rides Call Girl 5. This is one of his key horses with whom he jumped a double clear in the Lamprechtshausen Nations Cup leg and just dropped 1 pole across the 2 rounds in the Centaur Park Nations Cup leg. So very capable of jumping the clears. Comes to the last and really well judged. Carl Hugo Westergren secures the clear for Sweden. They're still in contention at the top of the leaderboard. They keep the pressure on Germany. These 2 teams are pretty neck and neck at the top of the leaderboard. On now to Antonia Hustler. She's the second rider out for Team Germany. They already have 1 double clear. Antonia Hustler here rides Dynamite N. Her 12-year-old gelding by Nintendo. Antonia's got a good few horses in her string at the moment. Kiwi's Dream is 1, Clarissa NRW is another that I'm sure you will have seen. She dropped just one pole at the Centaur Park Nations Cup leg with this horse. On the third placed team there, Germany looking for another double clear to keep themselves ahead of Sweden. Ooh, really takes a pull in the triple, and the horse absolutely stretches out, really helps her out at the end there. So it's another double clear from Germany, the only team to have any double clears, and they have two. Shows you just how strong this team is. Very, very strong indeed. Is the team total for Germany. They still have nothing to add. Not a single one of their riders has dropped a pole. Quite an achievement. Back to the Netherlands then. Now we're on to the third riders for the teams. And the third rider for the Netherlands is Faye Louise Voss with Monica LH. This 11-year-old mare by Verdi. Again, Faye Louise Voss has a good number of strong horses in her string. Monica LH was previously ridden by Erika Likhammer van Helmond of Sweden. Now partnered by Faye Louise Voss. She had a clear and 8 faulting round in the Lamprechtshausen leg of this series and a 4 under clear in the Centaur Park leg. She had 2 down in the first round here today.
Beetje opzetten, licht maken.
The Netherlands, remember, on 24 from the first round, so they're not going to be challenging the leaders, but it's great for these riders to gain further experience in this atmosphere, riding for their countries. Faye Louise Voss adds nothing in this second round. She jumps a clear, so the Netherlands stay on that total of 24. All right then, well now we go on to Lithuania once again. Their third rider is Augusta Balzaita, riding Karma. Now has a fence down. Lithuania have 2 8 faulting rounds. Augusta unfortunately had 28 in the first round, so that was the drop score for the team. Well, it's quite costly here for Augusta Balzaita. He has 12 here in the second round. It's a better score than in the first round, though. But if that's the drop score, it puts Lithuania on to 32 because they already have 16 in the first round. They will count at least 16 now in the second round, so that gets really quite costly. Lucas Lopez Benito is heading out on course at a good rate, with You Are de Peleben is a horse by Toulon out of a Papillon Rouge mare. He had a clear and an 8 at the Centaur Park leg of this series. A lot of the riders here in this field today jumped at that competition. Remember, this is the penultimate leg of the Children's Nations Cup competition. Lucas dropped 1 pole in the first round. That's the 4 that you see on your screen. Spain have a clear and an 8. So another clear could keep them on 12. It would keep them ahead of Lithuania and level with Ireland. Lucas Lopez Benito just has this final line left. Horse just fights with his head a little, but well managed by Lucas for a really nice clear. Keep Spain on 12. Just what they need and puts the pressure on the teams above them. Back to France then now, and it's the turn of Timothy Goffinay with Volubi du Givre. This pair had 1 fence down in the first round. France sadly have that elimination of Emma Legget to contend with, and so whatever Timothy does here, this is a score that will count to the team total. Heading through this final combination, Timothy Goffinay is really pulling out all the stops. That is just what the French team need. Another clear keeps them on their 6. Still keeps them ahead of Spain, ahead of Lithuania, and right now ahead of Ireland. Well, we're just hearing now that the final rider for Lithuania is not coming forward as well. Ava Navicate is not going to complete this competition, so that gives Lithuania a total of 28 in this second round, and so that is 44 for them overall. They will take 8th spot. Well, actually, they'll take 7th spot because, unfortunately, Austria were eliminated. In any case, now in the ring is Conrad Sweeney for Ireland. Conrad rides Ardrag Cordub. He had one fence down in the first round. Ireland on 12 so far because they have 2 8 faulting rounds. This is quite a new partnership, but they've got some good international results so far. They've just been competing in some 2 stars at Mullingar. Coming now to the last. This is going very well. That's going to be a very exciting prospect for the future for the Irish team. My goodness me. So it's a clear, and they keep Ireland on 12. Jamie Clark could do with a clear for them, and then that will be their finishing score. As we've said before, though, it's quite an ask. It's not an easy course by any stretch. The problems are coming thick and fast all the way around. The double and this upright that you see in the middle of your screens right now, they're pretty influential. Triple combination causing problems as well. Next up, though, is Nora Anderson for Sweden. 2 riders left to go for the Swedish team. She rides Nilja VD Bishop, who is by Untouchable. This pair have had around 2/3 of their international starts posting clear rounds. So a pretty good record for them. Sweden on clean sheet from the first round, and they have a clear and a 5 in the second round so far. A fence down here would put them on to 4. Oh, well, there we go. It's a fence down for Nora Anderson. Opens the door somewhat for Germany. Puts Sweden on to 4. France are just 2 penalties behind them. Oh, another fence down. Wow, it's 8 for Nora Anderson. So even if the final rider, Natalie Wenehorn, jumps clear for Sweden, they'll be on 5, and France are now 1 penalty behind them. Oh, it could not get much tighter than this. Well, Ava Ferch is going to be the next rider in for Germany. 2 riders left for the German team. She rides this grey mare, Quintessa Locks. It's a key horse for her in her string. She won the Children's Grand Prix at Gorla Minore with this horse in April of this year. Also was on the second place Nations Cup team with this horse at that same show, just 1 pole down across the 2 rounds. She was clear in the first round, so if she jumps a clear here, then Germany will have 3 clears, 3 double clears, and Germany will take the win. No other team could beat them if they are able to do that. So Ava Ferch, she will know exactly what she has to do. Quintessa Locks is such a talented jumping horse. She could be riding for the win. But since Sweden are now on at least 5, she can take her time. She can have time penalties if she wants. Wow, there you go. Drops the reins, punches the air with both hands. What an unbelievable performance. Germany didn't need a 4th rider. They have had 3 double clears with Lennard Tillmann, Antonia Hustler, and now Ava Ferch. She looks absolutely thrilled with that. The cheers going up from the German crowd. It's 3 double clears. Germany finish on a clean sheet, and Germany will take the win. Wow, what an unusual competition, the win being decided before we have even had the fourth riders compete. Absolutely outstanding from the German team. Ava Ferch, Quintessa Locks, they are a pair that you would really want to be in the anchor position. Great, great performance from that German team. Of course, they're the only team that have been able to field riders at every leg of this Children's Nations Cup. And so not only do they have talented riders, they have a real depth of talent as well. So strong in the Youth Nations Cup competitions. Jesse Berkers then is going to complete things for the Netherlands, riding Aragon Hapira. This is a horse that Jesse has been riding since November of last year. It was previously ridden by Brian Bratakulen, who is an Indonesian rider. The Netherlands are on 24. We have a 5 and 2 clears, so if Jesse can have a clear or a 4, those will count. Otherwise, we'll count the 5. Brilliant round from Jesse Berkers. There's 3 clear rounds now for the Netherlands in this second round. So they drop the 5. They count nothing in this second round and they finish on a team total of 24. They're going to be no worse than 6th. To be honest, I think with the scores of the other teams, they're going to be on 6. Unless the Spanish team have a fence down, and then they will go level. That's the total for the Dutch team. It's 24 in total. So we're just waiting for our next competitor, who should be Uxue Arizo Rodriguez for Spain. Yes, here comes the Spanish rider. So Spain on a total of 12. Uxue Arizo Rodriguez rides Clarin de la Mosas. Spain have 2 clears and an 8 faulting round so far. So 1 fence down would put Spain on 16. 2 down would put them on 20. Uxue jumped clear in the first round of competition here this afternoon. Just taking a steady approach. It's a big jumping horse. coming to the last then. The Spanish rider rounding things out. Oh, really nicely done. What a clear. 3 clears then for Team Spain as well. We're having some great rounds in this second round of competition. Spain had nothing in the second round. They finish on 12. They will be at worst 5th. Ireland are also on 12 as it stands, so we will just see how that pans out for them as well. Back to France though, to Lucas de la Chaussée. He jumped clear in the first round with this horse, Accia de Cotto. France have had 2 clears and sadly an elimination in this second round. They brought forward 6 penalties from the first round. So Lucas de la Chaussée, he's jumping to keep his team on 6. He's jumping to keep them ahead of Spain, ahead of Ireland. It's going to be quite close for these placings. It really is coming down to the final riders for them. Very quick across the fences, this horse. Well, a little more time taken over the water tray there, but generally doesn't waste any time. So Lucas de la Chaussée now comes to the triple combination. Got very close there. Oh, nicely done. Really nicely done. France then, another team with 3 clears in the second round. They keep coming now. Their team total will be 6. France will be no worse than 4th. In order to go ahead of them, Sweden have to have a clear. Jamie Clark of Ireland, though, is next in with Cumro Special. Seven clears internationally for this pair across Fontainebleau and Mullingar in Ireland. A double clear for this pair in the Nations Cup of Fontainebleau earlier this year, helping Ireland to a 6th place finish. They could well be helping Ireland to a placing much higher than that, though. They are not going to be quite as high up as they might like. They're not going to win, but Ireland, a clear here would put them on to 12 penalties in total. They'd go level with Spain. We'd drop behind France though. Brilliantly done. That is exactly what the Irish team needed at this stage. Another clear. So they drop one of the scores of 8, they count 8, and they finish on a team total of 12 in this competition. We see there that it puts them into 4th place. They're on equal penalties with Spain, though. Well, just 2 riders left on our list, but I feel that the final rider for Germany will not be coming forward because Germany have already had 3 double clears. Germany have already won this competition. Natalie Wenehorn is next in. Natalie, here rides Kenneth du Petit Vivier and a 12-year-old stallion. Sweden brought forward nothing from the first round, but they had a 5, a clear and an 8 in the second round. So a clear would keep them on 5 and would give them second place. 1 fence down would put them on 9 and they would take third. This is a round that decides the placings. It could secure second place for Sweden. Two fences down and Ireland and Spain will tie for third. Ooh, big shot there. Just the triple combination left. Natalie Wenehorn is riding for a double clear for Sweden to take second spot. Gets there! 78.89 is her time. And it's a brilliant clear. They drop the score of 8. Sweden count 5 and they are going to take second place. Well, well, well. Sweden take second. France take third. Germany will take the win. Just going to confirm if the final rider for Germany is going to come forward. Looks like he is. Tony Stormans, of course, didn't compete in the first round because he simply did not need to, but he has travelled this Nations Cup competition, so he may as well have a little look around the course. Here we go then. Our final rider is Tony Stormans for Germany. It'll be interesting to see what he does here, but regardless, it's not a score that Germany need. They have already won. I mean, that must be a pretty incredible feeling to be jumping in a Nations Cup competition and know that whatever you do here, your team has already won. Well, we've said it before, but the key thing, or one of the key things when you are watching and enjoying this competition is to take note of some of these names. These are the stars of the future. The depth of talent in the German young rider squad is quite incredible. They now have 4 clear rounds in the final round. It's absolutely outstanding. What a talented team. Germany finishing things in style. 7 clear rounds across the 2 rounds of competition. Not a single pole dropped from any of their riders. So Germany very deservedly take the win. They are unbeatable here on home turf. They are also at the top of the leaderboard in the overall season standings now. Italy, of course, were not present here. So Germany just showing how talented they are, how fantastically reliable their squads are here. Your winners then are, of course, Germany. Second place goes to Team Sweden and third place goes to Team France. Those teams will be crowned on the podium in a prize giving in just a few moments' time. You can see the arena team just preparing things for that prize giving. Spain and Ireland were equal 4th with their 12 penalties. The Netherlands were 6th with 24. Lithuania 7th with 44. Austria sadly eliminated, and the Czech Republic didn't make it through to the second round. They were the 9th placed team. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this competition. That rounds out the Children's Nations Cup class here in Hagen. But the action doesn't stop there. We have a Junior Grand Prix, which will be kicking off at 3:45 local time. That's 2:45 if you're watching in the UK. The Nations Cup action then will round out with the young riders this evening. That begins at 7:30 local time, so 6:30 if you're watching in the UK, in around about 4.5 hours' time. We'll have 7 teams coming forward there. And as usual, there will be the individual competition in between times. Stay with us then for the prize giving for this competition and, of course, for the Junior Grand Prix, not to mention the Young Rider Nations Cup later on this evening. I will join you back for that, so I will see you in a few hours, everybody. Enjoy your afternoon.